I just want to do a quick review of this pearl drilling vise that I bought on Amazon for about $15. And I've been drilling holes in these tiny 4mm beads that I made with polymer clay. And I use a lot of 4mm in my bead weaving, and sometimes I just want something, you know, that's a different color or kind of funky like this one is. And you get to make as many as you need in one color. And it doesn't take that much clay. I roll my clay out on a number 4 on the pasta machine, and I use this tiny cutter, and that's the perfect measurement for me to make a 4mm bead. And I got a 3D printer a week or so ago, not for this reason, but I've been having fun playing with it, so I made my own bead roller. I designed it where I'd have the 4mm because it's hard to find 4mm bead rollers for polymer clay. So that's the size that I need mostly. So you just put your clay, your pre-measured clay in there, and then you just do that for just a few seconds, and then you end up with a perfect little ball. But I tried drilling my holes in the clay before it was baked, and it was always warping the bead and everything. So now I bake my beads ahead of time on a baking pan that's lined with cheesecloth, so they don't get distorted or anything like that. And I bake them for about an hour on, I think, 265, just depending on the clay that you're using. And then you just stick it in this little vise, and you tighten it up in there. And it does go fast if you just kind of make a little assembly line here. And then you turn your drill on and just poke it in there, and it guides it perfectly straight through the bead. See if I can knock this out without losing the bead. Sometimes they go flying around the room. But it makes a perfect little hole. And you can use these micro drill bits that you can get for Dremel, and they're really tiny. They even go tinier than this. But I like to have enough of a size hole. When you're doing bead weaving, you're going through that hole many times with your thread sometimes, and then it could break the bead if you try to put too much thread in there. But I could never drill a hole that perfectly without something to hold the bead. But I highly recommend this. I think that it works great. So you see, it doesn't take as much time as you would think if you just get a little rhythm going and just keep at it. It took me a little practice to figure out how to put it in the vise without dropping it all the time, and I figured out tweezers really helped. These beads were made out of scrap, so that's why I have so many, but normally I would just make the colors that I need and not make so many. But I was practicing with my my little bead roller, and I got carried away.